for whatever reason, they just don't accept him, and they don't want him. They don't. People, we're prideful. We won't. We think just because we go to work 5 days a week and our kids are well dressed and they have the things of this world and whatever else, that we're too important to submit. Submit, like, submission is kind of a strong word. People think it in like military terms or something. No, I mean, just people don't want to have a relationship with God. People don't want to do it God's way. They want to do it their way because prideful. I mean, people. I mean, it's who we are, I guess. But that's not good. I mean, so. I mean, that's why the devil got kicked out. Kicked out of heaven, for pride, and that should speak volumes. It's kind of what I'm talking about. You kind of put two and two together there, but nonetheless, that's why God had to die, so he can sanctify and change and give us new desires and save us. So we don't have that nature. If we die in the human nature, this corrupt nature that we have, then just he has no choice, because like I said in the beginning of the video, God cannot dwell with people that are filthy with sin. When you accept Christ in a real way, that's it. He makes you white as snow. You might not feel white as snow. You might still feel dirty. Doesn't matter. If you accept Christ in a real way, that's it. You're forgiven. I mean, of course, and forgiving people and all that stuff. I mean, of course, that's what you're supposed to do, But yeah, I mean, people don't want to do it God's way. They don't want to have a relationship with God. They just want to have a relationship with their wives, and that's completely. You should want, I mean, obviously have a relationship with your wife and your kids. I love you. I want a relationship with you one day. God does not ever want, people to not have relationships. That's not what I'm saying. But, people, they want to love on the creation, but not the creator, but I mean, that's just our nature, and again, we need to love our families, so we should love our families. As long as our families are loving us back, we should love them, but yeah, that's I'm kind of veering off here, but yeah, I just it's definitely not a weird thing. God does not want people to just like run away and drink Kool-Aid at 12 o'clock midnight and then kill ourselves. Like, that's just crazy. That's a cult. That is a cult. That is not a relationship with God. That will never be of God. And some people try to, I'm saying some stupid stuff right now because I mean, there's, certain people out there that try to paint the picture of God as like, people who follow God and stuff like that. People who have a relationship with God. That's what I'm trying to say. Are just like, not at all, not one bit. I mean, if you met me in person, you would find nothing weird or strange about me, I don't think. So, and I just do these videos because, like I said, I don't really have too much to say to you anymore. I mean, at least, not as of right now, you know, so I'm just trying to, kick these videos out and, like, maybe spend some time with you, talk about something, I don't know. Maybe you're interested in this stuff, maybe you're not. I don't know. I mean, I've said some stuff over the past 45 minutes that, but it's true. It really, really is true. I mean, I'm not making this stuff up. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I know what it's like to have a heart change. I know what it's like to have my desires change. So it's not like I'm sitting here hearing somebody else talk about it, then I'm just decided, well, I'm going to talk to my daughter based on what somebody else said. No, these are my experiences. As far as like heart changes go and stuff like that, I'm not going to sit here and talk, in the first hand, or make it seem like, these are my experiences, with the whole, I know what it's like to have my desires change. I know what it's like to have through time, just to be like, whoa, like what just happened here? Like I used to like doing this, and all of a sudden, like, no, it's real. And people don't realize that, we live, day to day without God in our lives, without God in our hearts, sanctifying us. We're playing, Russian roulette with eternity. I mean, down here is like, I don't know, on average 80 something years. Well, that's fine, but I mean, really, eternity just goes on and on, and it's eons. We're not talking about years, we're talking about it doesn't end. We're talking about infinity. So I mean, look, I'm not trying to push my beliefs on you or nothing at all. I'm definitely not trying to do that. I'm just having a video with you, and if you want to sit there and just not watch it and discard it, that's fine. I mean, or disregard it, that's what I meant to say. That's fine. I mean, hey, look, I'm not here to beat anybody over the head, you or anybody else. I'm just having videos here. That's all I'm doing. So, I'm just talking to my daughter. That's it. I mean, if you ever saw me in person, I'm not at all. I do not beat people over the head with anything. It's not my business to beat people over the head. It's not my style. I don't do all that. I don't force people into anything. I don't do it. I don't do it. It's just not me. But so yeah. I mean, that's basically what it is. As far as like, God. Those are some questions and they're good questions. They're good questions. I mean, the whole, why does God let people starve? I mean, that's I mean, that's not a really good question, because you just apply common sense with the wars going on and people throwing money at wars, and I mean, we spend money on stupid stuff. I mean, look at some of these laws out here that are so dumb. I'm not saying all laws are dumb, but man, this is a different story. But I mean, yeah, definitely abide by the laws, absolutely. I mean, whether you like it or not, the law is a law. I mean, but not in all cases. I mean, if the law, there's gonna come a time where people are gonna have to, well, whatever. Whatever. I'm just saying some of these laws are not. They're not people friendly. That's all I'm gonna say. So there's a difference between being a law-abiding citizen and being a punching bag for, people who are not good leaders. That's all I'm gonna say. But nonetheless, it is what it is. But yeah, that's the whole thing with that's the whole thing with God doesn't send good people to hell, because in the eyes of God, until we accept the Son, until He's living inside of us, we're not good people. He loves us. Again, He loves us. It's not going to stop Him from loving you, loving me, loving anybody else. But unless you have that saving relationship with Him, and it's not rocket science. It doesn't, you don't have to go through some crazy experience, to accept God. You could accept God in 2 seconds. God, you're not saved by anything but the grace of God. I mean, the thing is everyone is saved. Everyone is free. But the reason they just don't accept it, you have to accept it. You have to receive it, kind of like somebody is handing you a glass of water. I mean, the water is yours, but you have to receive it. If you don't receive it, you don't drink it. It'll just sit there on the counter, right? The water, I mean, it's still your water, but unless you pick that water up and take control of it and receive it, what good is it? It's just going to sit there and get warm, and eventually it's going to disintegrate, and there it is. Everyone's free. Everyone's forgiven. Everyone is saved. Most people don't receive it. That's why most people go to hell. Most people don't receive the gift because people get wrapped up in this world, the material things, the phones, the clothes, just the ways of the world, the video game. It's so easy to get sucked in and distracted. You know, people get obsessed with these celebrities. You know, they get obsessed with, I don't know, boyfriends or girlfriends or husbands or wives or whatever. You know, again, nobody's saying have fun with this stuff, but there's such thing in life called balance. You know, and have your cell phone, have your sneakers, have your clothes, and have friends and all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's such thing in life called balance. That's essentially what God is saying. Like He gave people friends. I mean, I guess, as long as, I don't know, whatever. I mean, we make our own friends, but He gives us opportunities. So whatever. I'm not gonna sit here and talk for God and say what God does, what God does and doesn't do, as far as stuff like that goes. But I never let anybody. Well, of course, I can see why people might say, why would God send good people to hell if God really loves us? Why would He do that? Again, like the whole water thing I just said, it doesn't have to be that way. But God, comes and lives inside you as soon as you really accept Him and His sacrifice on the cross. He comes and lives inside of you, and He will change you. There will be a change eventually. There will be a heart change. Oh, but there will. And so if you, and again, you die in your sins in a carnal state of mind. Carnal means worldly. Carnal means people of the world, people of, no, that kind of sounds stupid. I mean, sure, I'm of the world. I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world, Of the world, I mean that worldly mindset, the strip clubs and, run around having 5 different girlfriends and, getting high fives from all your friends or whatever. People, I don't know. I've, people, they put a lot of, time in it. Like people like really, it could be anything. I don't know. Just the way of the world. I mean, I don't know. Pick some, just spending all your time and energy on something and not even acknowledging God or at all, like in any way, shape, or form, in a real way. There's a lot of people that go to church 45 minutes a week, but then, it does nothing for them because they're just, it's just church attendance. Attendance means nothing. So, I mean, and there's a lot of people out there that think just because they go to church, that means they're saved. Like God is going to sit there and save somebody just because they go to church. Not at all. I mean, God saves you because He's living inside of you, and He, you're allowing Him to, change you and sanctify you and change you. You need the Spirit of God. That's why most people go to hell, because again, Mackenzie, they die, and they die, with the fallen nature. They don't ask God. They don't have a relationship with God. They die in their sins. A lot of friendly people, a lot of people who, a lot of friendly people, a lot of good people. A lot of people think, well, I'm a good person, God will just let me in. Well, you might be a good person, but you still have that fallen nature you got to take care of. It's not about being a good person versus a bad person. I mean, it's about, you have to let God do His thing in you. God died so He can do work in you, because that's why He died, because He knows that we're a fallen race. And if God doesn't, again, you have to have a heart change. You have to be transformed. You have to be sanctified. You have to be, God has to, conform you